It's time for our final race of the day. It's the longest race of the weekend, though. It's 2 hours for Tiguera Club Enduro, and we have a big grid of more than 30 cars ready to take the start. On pole position 48 is Will Stacey in the Lotus Elite. Alongside number 1 is Bradley Burns in the Volkswagen Golf. He shares with Rob Baker. On row 2 is number 2 Joel Edswick in the BMW M4, alongside number 6, which is Ryan Parkin in the Audi TT that he shares with Dylan Brichter. The race is about to get underway. 2 hours for Tiguera Club Enduro. See the red lights go out, racing gets underway then, and a good start for Joel Edswick in the BMW, and Ian Jones further back. Will Stacey tries to block them from behind, but round the outside Bradley Burns I think will grab the lead in the Volkswagen. Stacey impressively is held under second. Ryan Parkin is third there in the Audi, and the rest of the field still coming up across the line, while the leaders heading down towards the Wilson hairpin. But it was Bradley Burns who leads. Around the outside comes Parkin in the Audi to try and get third place. We're really busy here. It's a 2-hour race, and you'd think that people have got to make sure they get through this first lap okay. We know from the previous race the track surface is a little bit questionable when placing markers.
Yeah, that's right. They discovered this. They won't see very much on that formation. The Lotuses.
That's the other Rob Boston run car, the teammate car to Will Stacey, the runs in Class B. Peter Mansfield already with issues. So top 2 going away, then Bradley Burns and Will Stacey for third. Joel Edswick in the German Autowork BMW's got past Ryan Parkin, and behind Ian Jones has got the better of the TCR cars in that BMW Compact. So he's got himself up ahead of Mark Rice there in the Seat, and then behind is 87, which is Aaron Cook, the XMR2 champion, in the Audi behind. That's a good battle back. There's a big slide there from Cook, then a big gap back to the next pack, which includes the Class B leader, the championship leader.
Just got away.
Out of the bits for that car. So a quick check over.
Weighing in just 50 kilos.
Oh, 74, that's the car that's promising qualifying. That's Matt Charrington, the multiple low-cost winner. He's not going to go very much further. That's past the paddock. There's the top 2 there. So the lap times in qualifying were mighty. They were 2 seconds under the lap record. So we'll see if we can get a new lap record in this race. Stacey did a 2:09, which is exactly a second quicker than Bradley Burns. But a lap time in qualifying doesn't mean that you can do that for 2 hours.
No, that's right. And not lose that one.
Across the line comes Brad Burns, the ex-Clio race winner, Clio Cup race winner, who is 1.2 seconds ahead of Will Stacey. So 1 from 48. Third is number 2 Joel Edswick. Up to 4 for 117 Ian Jones, who was so impressive yesterday. Road Sports. 5th is number 6 Ryan Parkin. 6th is 27 Mark Rice. 7th is 87 Aaron Cook. That's a big battle pack heading down towards the hairpin at Wilson. In 8th position is 22, which is Luke Brown. He's the first of the next group. In 9th position is 15, which is Phil Driver, the ex-British GT racer. Then in 10th position is number 40, James Collins, who previously has raced for Nice Green Silver. He's got a new co-driver this weekend, which is Brett Lidsey, who's had experience in the VLN at the Nürburgring. But the leaders, this lead pack for third position, got the BMW M4 Joel Edswick, and the much older car of Ian Jones. So 2 privately built cars, the touring car built from the VAG factory, the Seat and the Audi, behind Mark Rice and Aaron Cook at the wheel.
Scott Parkin, the B-class leader. Griffin, Levins, second.
Phil Driver, racing the British GT Championship in the Aston Martin a few seasons ago. Racing the Club Enduro over the last few years. She's now sharing this car with Colin Gillespie. Here's the BMWs battling. There's Ian Jones, then his 3.2 litre MP powered compact. Stepping sideways through the Nelson, and hopping over the curve. There was Aaron Cook at the back of the queue in the Audi. He's chasing the similar underneath parts. Seat, both VAG family cars there. Bodies on, and Mark Rice ahead of Aaron Cook. Those 2 are falling away from Ryan Parkin there in the Audi TT. The diesel car ahead. Leaders across the line. It's a new lap record immediately. It's a 2 minutes 02.76 for Will Stacey, who was a couple of attempts quicker than Bradley Burns ahead. The lap record previously was a 2:03.02, so we're a few tenths underneath that. That lap record was set a few years ago by Chris Boardman in an M3, but we have beaten that today. There is Will Stacey, so the great big red diffuser it's got. Rob Boston Racing worked super hard on this car to upgrade it over the winter. It is massively quick. It won at Croft and Anglesey as well. Will Stacey drives it really well. Ex-Lotus champion. Racing Mazdas as well with Will Stacey. And these two going away from the paddock.
Yeah, and that pack led by the gentleman who works at BMW, John Oswald, who's building the car. And hearing how there's weight out there, twin turbocharged V8 engine under the bonnet, which is quite something, 3 litre, making a big chunk of power. It's the most powerful car in the field, but therefore it has other safety concerns where it runs the class. A little bit of smoke going on the back of those. I think that gear used to just touch the ground. It's a little bit of roll in the field.
And David so because we've seen smoke other sorts out of that car in the past. But he's right now with Bradley Burns through that infield. The Lotus Elise is really quick. We get onto the area Motorsport, another privately built car, the Volkswagen Golf. I think it's got the rear wing is from a PCR machine. I think that's always the earlier. It's pretty much all what area Motor developed themselves. A similar situation with the Lotus Elise. That's all prepared by Rob Boston Racing. Rob driven the car a bit. He owns it, and he's right now on terms with Bradley Burns. The Golf's got more power, it's heavier though, so getting past it could be a challenge here for Will Stacey. He has to try something bold. He doesn't need to do that at this stage of the race though. They're coming through again, and a bit of a slower lap that time from the pair. They've got to lap the other Rob Boston Racing Lotus, the Peter Mansfield car that came late after that pit stop. They sliced past that with no problem. They are about 3 seconds, 3 to 4 seconds now ahead of Joel Oswick, who is still there in third position, I should say, ahead of Ian Jones, and then Ryan Parkin, and then a little gap back now to Mark Rice and Aaron Cook, who don't seem to be able to live with the pace of the front runners. So these two up front are certainly the fastest two. Let's see how the tyres go throughout the distance. Obviously the Golf has got all the power going through the front wheels. The front wheel's doing all the work, and immediately runs a little bit wide to Bradley Burns, and Will Stacey draws up alongside. They're side by side as they come out of Agostino. The Lotus on the inside. Surely Brad Burns is going to have to give way. He does. Just a small mistake there by the looks of it, Marcus. A bit of understeer perhaps. Pay in there through the hairpin, and Will Stacey goes through.
Yeah, it went a bit deep, and there was a little hole, and Will Stacey got
Can Bradley Burns fight back down the long straight, which is coming up next? Doesn't look like the Lotus has got as much of a deficit down the straight as it has done perhaps other in previous years, but it is still certainly not as quick. The Golf is now back alongside as they come up towards the S's, but the Lotus is later on the brakes, and Will Stacey then retains the lead that he gained a couple of corners ago, and we will see if Will Stacey is able to get away. And then he has got a bit of extra pace. Does he use that pace, or does he try just to keep it not 100% to keep the car going for 2 hours?
He's very keen to pull ahead, give himself something anyway. The traffic, we're at some village from the latest factory here, and the places who want to win third.
Through they go. Battle, a bit of a slower lap, they 6 tenths between them. So that Horswick was a little quicker than Burns ahead, so he's still 4 seconds behind. Then Ian Jones and Ryan Parkin all involved in that battle for third position. The lead battle's not over yet because Brad Burns is still right there with Will Stacey. They're behind in 6th position. Mark Rice has been a winner this year. Battling away with Aaron Cook, there he is in the Seat. The Audi behind. Aaron Cook, who's been trying to do various races. We're on board now with our Class B leader and the Championship leader, Scott Parker, who's in 12th position into Richie Plum.
Yeah, very, very nice input on the steering. Ahead of him.
Luchowicz, Volkswagen Golf. Both those cars have a 30-second penalty because of parking one at Spa last time out, the away day. And as the Schlewitz Club car wasn't there, I believe that car also got a 30-second penalty for this race because they won at Alton Park in the previous round. That they competed in. The both of them quite a long way there already. Chris Plasket's Golf, that's there in third position. It's a diesel Golf, this one. It's got Parkin's car, Darkside Developments, the repairers, and Parkin Twin Brothers, Parkin in the Audi in fifth position. And Scott there, EP12, people behind that business, and it looks like Scott Parkin will allow David Griffin to go through. There he goes with the BMW, the more powerful Class A car. Now I know he's coming up behind them was the Mazda, so Alan Henderson is making progress in the MX-5. He's into the top 16 now. So that car, he's going much better than this morning in qualifying. So we keep this shot. There's the little Mazda. I think it's based on a Mazda MX-5 Mark 1. It's got a Mark 2 engine, an 1800, which is turbocharged. It's a similar engine probably to the MEV that we saw out in the earlier race. Just there behind the big Seat.
This is the one that I think broke the drive shaft. Perhaps they were busy changing prior to going out to qualifying.
Okay, so we've been through it, I think a few drive shafts over the last week or so. It's going well at the moment. Scott Parkin's got cars all around him, the car's P leader, just happened to Mansfield Lotus. I think that little Mazda, that's quite a development, isn't it, to get a car like that. Probably going about 20 seconds quicker than the original car without the development. And Alan Henderson is really quick, he's won league races before in other cars. Keep an eye on how he gets on. A big battle here. This is just in the background there. Third in Class B between Chris Plaskett and Lewis Road. We can continue to watch this battle a bit further up, including Alan Henderson. He's chasing after the big Seat there of Phil Nib. One of the cars from the old one-make Seat series that run in Europe. TCR spec car, but not far off one. They turn into the hairpin. Class C. That's being led by 66, the BMW of Paul Sabiani, who is 3 tenths of a second ahead of David Lawrence. So the battle of Class C is pretty close behind this group. So like we've seen the other races with these 3 classes behind battles in all 3 of them. Although Class A is a much deeper field, it's a larger grid. The other 2 are put together this season. There, third Class B continues, including Lewis Rose then in that Honda. That's our first track limit morning, isn't it? That's for the Phil Nib and Andrew Rath-Sayat. I think just got past Scott Parkin, the Class B leader. Good battle pack. And Lewis Rose has gone through, past Chris Plaskett, so in the third position goes Lewis Rose in this car that he shares with brother Aaron, 2.4 litre K24 engine. There's Matthew Stockford, who's a Paralympian medal winner in the 1990s. So his first season of car racing this year in Team Dynamic front car. Team Dynamic sadly lost Steve Neal behind the organisation last month.
Great race for himself, Steve Neal. Vinny's taken today with the marble car. So far, down
the Team Dynamics team running that car, Alan James, who's the team manager, will be sharing with Matthew Stockford. That traffic has begun. Stacey now leads by 3 seconds over Bradley Burns. Now interestingly, Reg Oswick lost that 3 seconds or so on the first lap to Bradley Burns. Has kept it now, a similar gap. Similarly paced now, the front runners, as they get into a ribbon. Stacey and Oswick are solo driven, the other cars in the top 10 will share.
Bright green BMW Stowmarket glass car, that's the Rose family, Brown family, that's Luke Brown driving, and Paul will take it over later on.
Just that Jamie Naylor, I think that's going to be a possibly with either Mares a relay effort. Jamie out match earlier, so this will be his first endurance race. He's going to be using cars getting past him on a fairly regular basis. Is Brown's involved in this battle with James Collins, new driver in the race this season. Car that he shared with Nigel Greenthal up till now. With Red Lids, he jumps in this weekend. And driver from Kent, who's been a winner in Clio Cup in the past in the UK, and then racing on the VLN recently. The championship was run exclusively on the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Experienced driver in that car. Paul Stacey goes across the line 100 of a second slower than his best lap, 2:02.77. So consistent times now, and he's pulling the gap out 5 seconds over Bradley Burns. Change for 6, Blair into the hairpin. Aaron Cook has got the better of Mark Wright. And Mark Wright has had a good season in the championship contention. He's the Class A championship leader, sharing that Seat with Will Beach, and has a first, a second and fifth over the course of the year. But this car now running down in 7th place, seeming not to suit the second circuit pattern. These cars are generally very reliable ones, and that's going to come into its own during the duration.
Yeah, it's a tough circuit on the cars. There's lots of stops and starts, harsh acceleration. I suppose anything that's great to see. Fantastic price. Audi brand. Shade there.
Just ahead of Ryan Parkin, trying to get back on turn to Ian Jones. Right, have a little look at the inside of Cook there. Able to hang on. But the Class C leaders going up to the first corner, that might be something to pick up on, because they're absolutely together down at turn 1. The battle between 66, which is Paul Saviani, and 56, David Lawrence. Here they are, coming out of Ritchie's down towards the hairpin. So this is for the least powerful cars. Nothing separates them again. It's two very different cars. It's BMW powered by a 2.8 litre engine, the BMW Compact, and then the Honda, which is part of the foundation programme that the 750 Motor Club with the Gearbox put together for this year. So David Lawrence at the wheel of that one, takes a tighter line than Hayes. Starting chair to Jonathan Hayes. Here comes the Honda to the inside line for David Lawrence. He brakes later, and therefore get the move and get the car through the hairpin without a problem. They're soon going to be lapped by the race leaders. That's put into the back. A good pass there by David Lawrence.
About 6 seconds. Now, just there, the Collins and Browse battle at 9th place.
I think Collins has got through. Change, isn't it? So just come past us. I will be watching on the TV pictures of that change in the Class C lead. Got up to 22nd position overall. Up the order end of race Class C cars. Lawrence defending because Saviani fighting back. They've got the overall leader about to lap them. So he's to get past this safely. They wouldn't have been lapped by anybody yet, so they may not be aware that this little Lotus will be hard to see in the mirrors, Marcus. It's squeezing up the inside.
That's absolutely the point, because that car barely comes up to the waistline on some of the touring cars. Low sunlight, some parts of it. Well, you can see the Honda moving around the back there, and Honda checking out there. Pretty comfortable. So then, please, it's 9th lap. It's Stacey. Consistent. There goes Saviani, the BMW, back past the Honda into Bridges. So they come coming down towards the hairpin, 2nd place. Brad Burns, VW Golf, 7th coming through.
BMW, the 1999 car, compact. At least a decade newer. Honda, chasing it, but certainly together here in this championship. Oswick behind, very wide out to Palmer. He's still in 3rd. He's cleared away now from Ian Jones in 4th. He's coming under pressure from Ryan Parkin. everyone, the front guys are running. Oh, who's been off? That's 10 that's been off. The little Janetta, driven by Andrew Shepherd. He's got back on now. Osrick's turn to get amongst the Class C leaders. But yeah, similar pace now for the front guys. Also from the 2, 3s, 4s and 5s as they settle in.
Parking out 6.
They'll be coming up next to this battle. That's the first time these passed by a battle of cars. So they will be hanging about. Here comes Ian Jones, who pops out of the toe of the Class C cars. One of them gets between Saviani and Lawrence. Similarly liveried BMWs, aren't they? Both using versions of the BMW M factory livery. Two sister cars almost, aren't they, with various modifications made to them. So Hinton passed okay, and I think Ryan Parkin followed it through.
Stanley supporting car, Robert Stanley here at this weekend.
Joel Osborne, just 20 years of age, one of the youngest drivers on the grid. Hertfordshire. Twin turbocharged 6-cylinder S55 P30 engine BMW, a 2016 car.
These differences program.
This is the battle for 11. They've all been passed by the Mazda. Henderson is, yeah, and Henderson's now, what, 9th? He's got past James Collins. So he is really motoring on now. He's done a 2:05 with Alan Henderson, which will put him right in that lead pack. And he is now, as he comes across the line, yeah, in 9th place. This is an excellent drive from Alan Henderson. He's going quicker and quicker. There's the Mazda. And I think we may have lost the Browse BMW, that's why he's gained another position. That hasn't come through at the end of the lap, but into 9th place. So for Alan Henderson in this Mazda M5 that Daniel Irving and his AK group have put together. It's his first race outing. He's been at a few of the other meetings, but hasn't made it to start of the race. So it's out there now. It's done 10 laps, and it's worked on the back of the grid up into 9th position. And he's clear James Collins, immediately pulling away from that BMW. So this will be his first chance to get a true lap in without having to pass another car. Meanwhile, Bradley Burns laps a car that he's probably well familiar with. Toyo Cup race winner was Bradley Burns a few seasons ago. He's 22, so again another one of the younger drivers. He's a driver from Surrey. Been a podium finisher in the TDI Championship in Germany in the past. So he's had a few years out and now has joined up with Area Motorsport to drive this in-house developed Volkswagen Golf. But he can't live with the pace of Will Stason, who leads the way in the Lotus release now by 9 seconds. Meanwhile, down the pit lane is the Browse BMW, that's M3, that has got problems, and there is a huge amount of work going on at the moment. That's some oil perhaps that they've brought out that need a top up at this stage. And some sort of fluid it needs a top up. If the lid will open. They'll try and get that car back out of the race for sure. They've had a consistent season, yet to be in the top 6 zone. They're scoring points. Here the Class C leaders, they're still battling. 21st position at the moment. Saviani still ahead of David Lawrence. There's that BMW. Leads the C class at this stage. The Class B cars are a bit closer now. They're separated by 1.4 seconds. Scott Parkin and Luke Slavitz. And they come up across the line now. What's the closest they've been? We're right on board then. With Scott Parkin, he's got that Janetta to lap as they come up towards Ritchie's corner. He goes to the left side of that, which he then swoops around the outside of without too much drama. You get now 1.3 seconds between he and Luke Slavitz in that second goal. Diesel powered car and the petrol car. The fastest lap between them was just done actually by Slavitz, 2:09.17. in that car that he shares with Kevin Glover. That's the 2-litre TSI powered Mark 7 Volkswagen GTI, which has been built by Javisport, Luke Schmitz's organisation. They're both drivers that have raced in the Golf 1 Mate Series. There's Scott Parkin ahead, the driver from South Yorkshire. In his 4th season of racing. He won the MSBT Series before joining the 7th World Cup. That's 2010 Volkswagen Golf, which runs a 2-litre TDI engine, which produces 270 brake horsepower. It's a car that originally ran in the Volkswagen Racing Cup. Darkside Motorsport have tuned it, turned it into a diesel engined car, and they've done a really good job now.
Yeah, they do sound like a great car, and
yeah, that's right. Super successful season. Scott Parkin's had 2 wins, 2nd and a 5th within Class B. That's what's given him this championship lead. He's just one of the slower Mazdas to that. That's 53. The car started by Mike Cooper. It is the first season of racing.
The big Mazda has broached by the looks of things. Unfortunately, Henderson crawling around Forum. What a shame.
He just did a 2:04 on the previous lap, so it's about the 5th or 6th quickest car. But I wonder if that's another drive shaft it's gone. I've been told it's run pretty much on standard, on a standard drive shaft. I think there's not too much power going through the car.
Get some more made in
Great to see it here. First time it's raced. Sure the team would look at it and see if it's they can get going again, because it's all good data, isn't it, to learn about what it's like in a race condition. But yeah, that car's for the pit lane then. Real shame, but it's great to see it here. It runs for 11 more laps than it has done before. Will Stacey leads by 11 seconds now. He's consistently a second a lap quicker than Bradley Burns, who's in 2nd place. 3rd is Joel Quick. 4th is Ian Jones. 5th is Ryan Parkin. 6th is Aaron Cook. And through again goes Will Stacey. He's going to need 13 laps. Class B, that's been led by that man there on your screen, number 89, Scott Parkin. He leads by 1.2 seconds over Luke Schmidt. Very similar pace, these two Volkswagen. There's the Mazda in the pits. And the 810 Motorsport car then comes to a halt. Well, Henderson's staying at the wheel at the moment. They've got the computer out. Not the drive shaft. Is it ready to go again? No, I think we're going to go again. Light system inside on the pit speed limiter.
It looks great in that colour we're familiar with from the US racing, the sports car.
So he's back on the road. He's dropped to 20th position.
This will be a kind of extended test.
If it now runs smoothly, then it's still
It works absolutely fabulous.
This is what club racing is all about, isn't it? Developing cars. And this rule set, which is very open, allows for that.
Certainly expected to manufacturing
Certainly running quicker than it was in the pits. It's past the Class C battle, which now has Fabiani quite a bit further ahead of David Ross than he was earlier. Stacey goes through. He's going to pick the back again at row 3. Valentin. Novice driver Jamie Naylor, who's in a relay with Ivor Mares, running in 28th position at this stage. Ivor Mares, BMW sitting in the pit lane, and waiting. There's that Mazda back up to speed. well. Into the top 10, just behind, is the Seat, starting from the very backfield near with Andrew Ratz. Seat late on Euro Cup. Trey 7 now back. Now basically where their pace should be, different to David Griffin. Behind Colin. Phil Nibs, Bike Sport, Face Radical Bike Sport, and bits and pieces. They've had a pretty decent season with teammates Alan James. They've had a 6th, I think, over the course of the season.
They've got a couple of times in the last period as well in things like the Dave Allen Memorial race.
Now the MX-5 that's just gone a lap down is interesting. Number 100, that looks certainly good because that's Matt Simonite having his first out in this car in running on carbon neutral synthetic fuels. The fuel system ECU is unmodified from the OEM manufacturer, so they've literally just dropped in this fuel which reduces the CO2 emission without modifying the car, and potentially way forward thinking club racing. I think that Goodwood, the revival, there's a Porsche race this year which is going to be on synthetic fuel.
There's various suppliers doing things slightly different, but yeah, the Bentley run, I think makes no difference in the car.
Just get hold of it, isn't it?
Porsches as well, yeah. Racing. ATL is very busy making lots of fuel tanks to suit these different composition.
It's great to have that here on the grid. Potentially important thing going forward for Matt Simonite, driver from Derbyshire, racing the MX-5 Championship in the past. It's a 2007 car. That's a question later on from that. But in his first announcement in Club Enduro, how's he getting on? He's in 27th, he's done a 2:23 in his base lap.
They just really fine effort to get out of the way there. It's unnecessary, but right for that the Seat
nice car, the MX-5 Grand Prix. I like to go in so again. Pretty friendly, I think, for the driving. Decent amount of power, much more power than the Mark 1 Mazda.
Back next year.
Yeah. But maybe not. Wait till you have your first go. Many years ago, Marcus, once you had that first go. So that's Matt Simonite then, who I think has gone a lap down the class leader in that group. We watch that now again. P1 Fuels, power in that car. Meanwhile, the race still being led by 10 seconds, which now staying at that, you know, made pretty helpful to the other drivers getting past, isn't he? So, I think he hasn't done it. They say that David Lawrence is slowing. The driver who leads the Class C Championship then is slowing. He was second in the class in this race, but David Lawrence, who's had a couple of wins this season, is in drama. And is he going to be able to carry on? We can have a look in the background. There he is. The pit window, by the way, is now open. We're half an hour into the race. I don't think we've had any early... Joel Ornswick, is he in? Joel Ornswick has come in immediately then. So he is our first pit visit. Try to zoom that. It's just on strategy. You're not allowed to pit in the safety car anymore, in the safety car periods. And yeah, they're refueling the car. They must think they can do more than an hour and 25 in the field to get it home. Yeah, new rule for this season, you have to see Club Enduro this year, is that they cannot, Jamie Naylor stopped as well, they cannot pit during a safety car period. So that has opened the strategy up a little bit. We saw a lot of people pitting always under the safety car. This has made it much more interesting, I think. David Lawrence is going to get the car back to the pit lane. He's desperately trying to do so. To score points, he needs to do 50% race distance. That would be what's the aim at this point. certainly limping at very reduced speed. Meanwhile, the pit stop ongoing. Joel also getting out of the car while it was refueled, taking on some of his own fluids. Well, getting back into the car now. Stanley back in. You talked about earlier. I guess when you're not the quickest car, you have to sort of take the punt, don't you? If you think you've got enough fuel to get to the end, see what happens by making an early pit stop. So a 3-minute pit stop, that'll put you a lap down. There's Lawrence, still slowly making his way back to the pits. The championship leader is in as well. 89 Scott Parkin has come in at a pretty early opportunity. He's got that 30 seconds to fit the penalty. That promotes Luke Slavic to the class lead. Now last lap, Bradley Burns in a 2.8 in the goal. However, that was particularly bad traffic. That's it. Now Parkin's done an 8, Jones has done a 10. The lap time on that lap was significantly slower than we've been seeing. Well, Aaron Cook is better on a 6, so that's interesting. Burns, Parkin, Jones, all doing much slower lap time than that last lap. It could all be traffic, but 5-6 seconds is quite a big chunk. David Lawrence is going to make it back. That's the final quarter now. So this is the opened up RC battle. We put Paul Tobiani and Johnny Hayes into a good position. They're the new class leaders. Second is Mike Cooper, and in third position is Adam Shepherd. Race still being led by Will Stacey by 14 seconds. Bradley Burns. Third is Ryan Parkin with 48.16. Fourth is 117 Ian Jones. That's a change, isn't it? Ryan Parkin's got past Ian Jones on that last lap. The Audi TT's up to third. Fifth is 87 Aaron Cook. Sixth is 27 Mark Price. Seventh is 15 Phil Driver. Eighth is 40 James Collins. Ninth is 92 Phil Nip. And 10th is 134 David Griffin. There's David Lawrence, and he's made it back to the pit lane. Rob Baker, the area motorsport boss, on hand. He'll be getting into the front-running car number 1 championship defending car later. Joel Oswick returns to the circuit after his pit stop, and the Mazda stopped again, this time on the circuit. The Mazda MX-5 of Alan Henderson has come to a total halt this time. It's a well off the track, but whether that's going to get back going, we'll see. Joel Oswick at 19 when he rejoined.
That's the digital lap that was on.
Back up. Alan Henderson before that Mazda stopped again. He did a 2.06, so lapping quickly before that. 1.17 for the pit lane. That's Ian Jones. So a pretty early pit stop for that car. Martin Gadsby, the car owner, will drive it next. We really saw at the races I saw early in the season at Crocodile. We've seen early pit stops happening here. There's David Griffin, the Australian, in the replica car.
Racing.
Going well, he's in 10th place. Solo drivers. David Griffin do a few races in this championship over the last few years. He was improved to complete another lap. Lap 18. Minutes 8.5 for the circuit. Matthew Stockford is in, well, we're 10th place now because of the Ian Jones pit stop. Then the class leader just behind Luke Levets in his goal. And then the next car through is Joel Oswick, who is just ahead of the race leader Will Stacey. So Joel Oswick is trying here not to go 2 laps down, I think, which would be massively important if we did get an interruption to the race. So I would imagine John Osborne will try and fight this. He's got a heavy tank car, he's sliding around on the brakes. There into the hairpin. An interesting moment there. Chris Plaskett desperate there to get out of the way of his teammate car. As Bradley Burns laps him, he darted to the inside of the circuit to let it through. So 13 seconds, Burns is behind the leader, and then another 10 back to Ryan Parkin. Down the pit lane is Chris Stevens. Let's see who he's at.
Yeah, I'm down in the pit lane with Jay Delgado from the German Motorworks team. Jay, towards the third place before the stop. How did it all go?
Yeah, I mean, start went really well. We held position from behind, but Joel's doing a fantastic job out there. Big strategy, absolutely fantastic. Competition in front is so close. We try so hard to stay up. So to be up there, to be back. What more can you want? Quick shout out actually to the sponsors who's here with us, and guys from America who are actually probably watching this from America right now. Hello. Thank you for all your help. Thank you very much.
Obviously, it's been a big project for the season, a new car. How has it developed since the start of the season?
It's a completely different car. We started off with a big, heavy pig of a car, to be honest, and now we've got this semi-lightweight, nimble car. We've lost over 100 kilos from what we had at the start of the season. We've also lost power, but that's brought the reliability we really need. So, yeah, we're all on a big development stream. It's a bit like F1 really, but on a budget. All of these teams are trying so hard to get on the route. It's fantastic.
We love it. How long until that first overall win then, do you reckon? How long until that first overall win?
Oh, please. Teasing me. We've got to learn for the second. Who knows? Maybe today. Anything can happen. And that's the thing. You've just got to be in it to win it. So we're out there. Let's see what happens.
Top man, thanks for chatting to us. Good luck for the rest of the race. Guys, let's go back upstairs.
Thanks, Chris.
Great to hear from Jay Delgado then. Twice in the house with the American Watson. Stanley Handling. Brilliant one. Very much. On the second phase of the race, some of the these processes. I mean, yes, so third place starts great. It's all shaping up very interestingly.
Yeah, Ian Jones pitted hand over to Martin Gadsby, and they come out ahead of Joel Chris. That is changed in the stops. Doing that with a regulated stop that the Jones and Gadsby pairing have had there. So they've come out at 17th position and are leading pit stop. I watched David Griffin on the screen.
Love the camera on the camera on front suspension.
Car with Michael Super Touring was at its bomb, wasn't it? The car been raced by Michael Joe Winkelhock, Championship, RB. Yeah,
David is Australian.
that's right, yeah. So that time, I think in Australia you had the two competition series, you had the VXU car and the Super Touring car championship. So there's actually two versions of the over 1,000 year, I think.
Well, that one with Morris
Right. Yeah. So up across the line comes Boswick.
Stacey just gone through and lapped his teammate.
So he has lapped Boswick. It was to come out from the header station and Stacey moved ahead. And wondering where Martin Gadsby came. Boswick transponders were working, I think. That's what's confusing me. He has not been registered since 17 laps.
Okay. He was behind
They've been dropped to 24th on the screen, so that's something that my people are going to have to work out. Because for some reason, since the pit stop, Joel Osborne's car has stopped being timed, and the transponder, I think, stopped working.
Lithuanian racer, which is Titus Guras.
Yeah, he lives in Ipswich, so he's actually quite a local driver.
Just recognise the Lithuanian flag.
Absolutely. And this car is one of the foundation cars that Duo put together. So basically, you've got the car, you've got the new driver, you've got your race gear, and then full season of entry fees, all in one package. And that's what Vitas Imperius has done. He's a transport manager. Good to have him out there. He's had a couple of thirds this year within Class C. Good to see. That car in the pits there, Bradley Burns. He's now 12 seconds behind Will Stacey. And there's Gadsby, and he's still going. He is in 17th. And there's Ryan Parkin, his third in the Audi TT. He's 12 seconds behind Burns. Similar gap to Stacey, Burns back to Parkin. Across the line with Matthew Stockford, he's 10th. There's the leader behind him. So Will Stacey's about to lap the 10th place car for the first time. Go 5 on that lap, one of it traffic fluid, I think. Will Stacey driving really well, I think that's done all season. Done racing, I think, in a few other categories, but concentrating on this championship. It's a mighty battle we had at Croc. We had 6 cars battling in the opening round of the season. Great way to start it out.
Favourite racing last year was
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
Something about that venue that seems to work well for this championship.
At the end of every lap, you've got that concern of that tight section of track. It really closes people up a little bit like Murray's here.
Yeah, that's what we heard from the German Motorsport guys when the car was more powerful earlier in the year. Joel Austin, a huge slide down the hairpin, would rocket past Will Stacey into third row, and then Will Stacey would have to fight back past the rest of that. It was a cracking race that one. Anglesey was a bit of a problematic race, quite safety cars that race. As his failure for Griffin
Broken. Smoking very badly.
So well, Dave Griffin is, I think, for the pit lane. Let's hear from Chris Stevens, who's in the pits.
Well, David Lawrence, it was a strong start, it seemed, but not very much fun.
Yeah, I was in third place around the end of the year. Was battling really hard. And then a couple of Class A cars come past the front, so that could have power a little bit. And then engine management lights come on and start going to lift mode. And just got an automatic fix and totally clear and get it sorted. That scanned it as a throttle body, so we're just trying to get it swapped over and see if we can get back out.
Seems like maybe a low point it was, otherwise been a very successful season for you.
Yeah, all I've literally done is put tyres on it and put fuel in it, and it's not much speed. So for this one, it's the first sort of mechanical failure on the car, so just a matter of that and put 1 or 2 laps in it. So yeah, it's a good shame really, try and get back out.
Was you in one of the foundation cars? Just tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's a foundation car, I've seen it, and it was a good price. It's all spent out, fully built, ready to go. So basically put fuel in. So I was like, oh, what's a bit of that? And I wanted to do a bit more competition drive, so I was it's good, it's challenging, as it comes into the pit stops and stuff like that. Consideration. It's really good.
Very well. Hopefully you have better luck next time out, and your car left quite a bit of fluid on the ground there as well.
Yeah, I think that's a bit cool. Everybody cool. So yeah, I think they're just going to fully change that and get me back out. Hopefully I can maybe get a few points.
We hope so too, and all the best for the rest of the season as well. David, thanks for chatting to us. Guys, let's go back upstairs.
Thanks, Chris. So what David Lawrence needs to do is with 50% of the race winning distance to be classified as a finisher, and therefore score points last season. Stuff for the long term the championship. Dave Griffin, who we saw earlier, has made it back into the pits. We'll see that BMW again after that was clearly smoking pretty heavily. We We've done 23 laps, 48, Will Stacey leads by 11 seconds. For Brad Burns, in 1, in third is number 6, Ryan Parkin, who's there in third position on your screens now. In fourth is 87, Aaron Cook. Fifth is 27, Mark Rice. Sixth is 92 from the back of the grid, Phil Nib. In seventh is 40, James Collins. Eighth is 15, Phil Driver. Ninth is 78, Matthew Stockford. And 10th is Arsenal B leader, number 95, Luke Slavin. We ride aboard with Ryan Parkin. You can see him at work, pretty much the circuit from that angle, but up the gearbox he goes and across the line to complete 24 laps. That was a 2 minute 6.2 for Ryan Parkin. He's got one of the Clios to lap just ahead.
Running the old Advan Yokohama Formula 3 race team. To see Tommy Burns Formula 3 cars back in the day.
Livery, I think, in the sports car, so
Doesn't belong to the line of Japan.
So this is Ryan Parkin, who is 33, from Barnsley in South Yorkshire. Like a fifth run, we've been racing for 4 years. I think last year he competed in the Spa 25-hour Truck Cup race at that circuit. This is a 2017 Audi TT, it's front-wheel drive, it's a 2-litre TDI diesel engine. Like the sister car that his brother's driving, this car was originally racing the Volkswagen Racing Cup and has been converted to have the diesel engine. And that goes well. Both the brothers drive really well in their various cars. Good to have this Audi TT, another TT car on the grid.
Yeah, I was both my call was getting himself XR2. I had an Audi TT.
Not much room, actually. So there is Parkin then. Towards the end of 25 laps, coming up to half distance. Will Stacey just across the line of the leader. Chris Clark, one of the front runners of Class C, is in. He's a 32-year-old from Surrey. This is a 2-litre Volkswagen Golf GTI petrol car prepared by Area Motorsport. So this is basically the type of car that Bradley Burns is the smaller turbocharger.
Many years ago, my team
Really?
I discovered it. Small hard, isn't it, too?
So that car in the pits, that's going to be challenging for Class B. The first of the cars, I think, that doesn't have a pit stop penalty within that class, so that can bring Class B into contention. Success factor. Previous races.
I think there's probably another 100 miles on the BMW on the track.
He's 26, he's just done a personal best lap last time out, I think it's 26.7. With Parkin then, in this Audi, goes down a gear, second, left, Agostini he is, through the hairpin, then up a gear into third, then fourth, before Hamilton, the left-hander, in the corner, with it's very small inputs into the steering wheel, isn't it? Keeping it smooth. Third gear through Williams, now on the back of the race, fifth. Sixth gear, we are in the top gear then before we get down into the S into front of Nelson, into the bridge, down a gear into fifth, down 2 gears into fourth through the left-hander, down another gear I think into third for the right-hander, here he would, down to third for Williams, but accelerates up a gear into fourth with the right-hander on the front roll, get another gear, here up into fifth before into Forum. Now this is this really long right-hander that gets slower as the corner goes on. Out the throttle, brake, I think go down 2 gears then into Murray's, and go back up the gearbox to the line. But it's another lap for Ryan Parkin. He won't accelerate to the line because he's here for the pit stops. So he is into the pits. But yeah, the Ginetta of Rapid Russia Pits went to the second place car in Class B into the top 10 markers. Back into the 202 for Will Stacey, so as the car gets lighter.
And here's the number 6 Parkin and Brichter. This is Ryan Parkin. Car was running in 3rd place. Of course, it's dropped back a little bit now, immediately with the pit stop. The old air jacks operated.
Yeah, so before they can refuel it, Ryan has to get out. Everything has to be shut on. They've got a fan to cool the engine at the front. So when they refuel it, nobody can touch the car. So they've got new tyres ready. So on this, the front tyres take, especially on these front-wheel drive cars, take a hammering round here. They're going to try. That's why they're pitted in the middle. So each set of front tyres only have to do an hour. So they've got to try and do all this in 3 minutes. The fuel going into that car that was running in 3rd. So that promotes Aaron Cook to 3rd and Mark Rice to 4th.
Yeah, Stacey hasn't stopped yet. Brad Burns hasn't stopped yet. Cook and Price yet to stop, but so the top 4 yet to stop. Enormous Liv and Rathcar 92, Colin Lindsay 40.
Not really sure what's going on with the Joel Oswick car because I don't think it was a particularly longer pit stop. I think they had a transponder issue, but it started working again because he's done more laps. But I'm not sure if he's in the position he should be, shown in 23rd. So that's going to be a headache, I think, for Terry Stevens on the opposite side of the track for us. I suspect the team will be chatting to the officials about that to see if they could get some laps reinstated. David Lawrence is back out again, so that is, I think, well within time if the car runs now. There's no throttle body he was going up and put on. That's a pretty good job there by the team.
Very much so.
So he's rejoined in 28th position. So it's about a 20-minute pit stop, so done that in about 20 minutes, which is a good effort at this level.
But you couldn't get your local dealer to do that.
Well, how much would they charge? So great job there. I think the area motorsport crew were the team at work there. We run quite a lot of cars in this championship. So he is continuing. Will Stacey leads now by 14 seconds. So it's a small enough gap that the pit stops could change this, couldn't it? Because neither of the front 2 cars have a pit stop penalty, but doing this pit stop in 3 minutes, particularly if they're going to change tyres as well, is quite a mission. It's not necessarily guaranteed that can be done in that time frame. Tyres currently being changed on the Darkside car down there in the pit lane. So Ryan Parkin out of the car, perhaps we'll hear from him, and he'll be handed over to Dylan Brichter.
Are they changing all 4 or just the front?
Definitely the front. It's a front-wheel drive car, so I'd imagine that would be all. It does have a 30-second success penalty for the win at Spa last time out. So it would be a slightly longer pit stop, which makes it more possible to do the tyre change. And Chris Stevens is down there, I think, in the pits.
I've come down to Capture Motorsport to have a chat with Phil Driver, who's just got out of the number 15 Saya. How's it going out there?
It's hot. There's a bit of shade today, but it's still hot in the car. And I think everybody's more or less in the position they started in, so it's a bit of a trail. We got held a wee bit at the beginning, so I was kind of low in the second half of the race, but the first half of my session was good fun.
We were just marvelling about the fact that we haven't had a safety car yet as well.
And that's quite amazing after the last 2 rounds, no safety car, so it would have suited us a bit today to close the gap. We got held at the beginning, but we've come in a bit earlier than probably everybody else. Colin's probably got 2 or 3 tenths on me, so we'll start moving the car to do a longer stint and see where that takes us.
Of course, you guys were the runners-up in the A class last year. You're second in the A class at the moment as well. What do you think you can do for the rest of the season?
We are, but we're probably the 5th quickest out there. We recognise that. We have determination to always finish a simple match. We'll try and qualify top 10. We aim for the top 5, and then with a bit of good fortune, we get a podium. We've had a good podium. Yeah, that's what we do.
Well, good luck with that. Right on cue almost. Your assistant car's just coming as well.
I think they're one of the 4th quarters now, so they should have a good result today as well.
Keep an eager eye on that. Thank you, Chance. Phil, let's go back to you.
Thanks, Chris. Full driver there with Chris, ex-British GT racer, now enjoying his club racing with his Scotsman, Phil Driver. See how they get on over the course of the season. They have had second, a couple of thirds, as he was saying, had a podium for the year. We're halfway in, and an hour gone, there's an hour to go, and there is our race leader, Will Stacey, 14 seconds ahead of Brad Burns now. So Rob Watson Racing run Lotus Elise. Makes its way to the end of 29 laps of the race. He's going to hit in here at distance. He's going to do a longer first stint by the looks of it. Solo driver, so he doesn't need to worry so much about how long he's driving this one. Special strategy, a 2:03.4, so consistently quick is Will Stacey in this car.
Yeah, 2:02, 2:03, and that's what it's all about. You can't just keep pounding in those laps. Time comes down,
Class B still being led by Luke Levitz, he hasn't finished yet. And Class C is being led now by the Special 3 car, not by Mike Cooper. There's the Class B leader then. That's the Jabba Sport Blue that Luke is up behind that team. The GTI Golf. Richie's corner we go. He's in 5th place now because of others pitting. So 2:09.6 on that last lap, but race best of a 2:08.3, which is only a couple of seconds off of the lap record held by Brian Chandler here a few seasons ago. Scott Parkin, by the way, ahead of Chris Plaskett, both cars made pit stops in that turn. So I think it's going to be Parkin versus the car we just saw. The Class C leader into the pit lane, that's Mike Cooper. He will hand over to Thomas Stedman, driver from Warren. Now 2009 Mazda MX-5 Mark III. That will promote Paul Saviani and Jonathan Hayden to the lead, I think. They've made their pit already. Out of the pit, so they go now actually. So just completed their pit stop at 66 crew. Hello, Gomez. He's in 25th. I think Jamie Nailard had a problem with his minutes, so therefore Gomez a few laps behind. The 2:03.45. Patrick Burns is with Joel Oswald on the road. The line. The quick cars together. 16.8 seconds on the new gap. Between top two.
inching out every lap, a few tenths.
Going to be all about those pit stops. Very important. Got our first track limit penalty, car number 20 gets a 5-second penalty, and that's for Lithuanian Vaitas Pirius. So it takes a while to get to that point. There's fuel going into the Mazda. Great clever racing car. Easily, there's hundreds of Mazda MX-5 that race in the UK.
The States are racing them for the first time. They call them Mazda Miatas.
There's a massively popular Mazda MX-5 Championship in America. We'll come back to that because there's a big problem for one of our front runners, Dylan Brichter, in the Audi TT that he shares with Brian Parkin. He's coming to a halt coming out of Agostini. The dashboard's gone, so I wonder if the engine has cut out. Well, it's come back on now, the dash, as he refires the car up. The dashboard quickly went 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, 1st gear, so I'm not sure if that's just the reset process, which Dylan Brichter is trying to go through at the moment. So it's back into 1st gear. I know it's gone off again, so he's turned it back off. So I think he's trying to reset the car. And it's back on again, and it's back off. Okay. Great to have this onboard coverage of this car. And it's back on again, so the dashboard has come back to life. So he's cycling the electronics of the car, I think. We've got pit-to-car radio in this championship, so I imagine the Darkside crew will be talking him through what to do. So it's quite a lot of vibe. I think he's got going, has he not? Hard to tell from the onboard.
He's sitting safely behind the barrier, isn't he? He's parked it somewhere.
Last shot, it almost looked like he was on the track, but I'm not sure. Perhaps if we can get the outside shot again, we'll get an idea where the car is. Well, I think it's moving. It's vibrating badly, but it is moving. So he's turning his way, I think, through. Yep,
you can see one or two things happening in the mirrors. Yep, here he goes.
Yeah, it's on the grass now, isn't it? So he has got it off the road. It's moving, though, extremely slowly. So he has got it into a safe position now, but can he get it back to the pits? So that's a contender, another contender gone, isn't it, from a good result. It was running inside the top 10 after its pit stop. But for Dylan Brichter, a problem there of pretty significant proportions. They were the winners in Class A last time out at Spa-Francorchamps, where the marshal now trying to let Dylan know where to go, because he's on the wrong side of the circuit, really, because in the middle of the infield, and they won't want him to get stuck there, will they? They won't want to let Dylan be stuck on the inside of a corner for a long time. If he gets to Magostini, he can get back into the paddock on the right turn, so I'm sure that's what the marshal would be telling him. Now there, so Brichter has parked it up in sort of the gap between the barriers. And I think that is the day done then for the car that won at Spa. Looking further back in Class C, in 4th position was Ivor Mayers and Jamie Naylard. And 5th, Vitos Papiras, who was brought in towards the end. Ahead of David Lawrence, they got that car fixed.